Joining me on tonight's show is Anahid Bazmajan, Irish-Armenian blogger and author of the High Heel Runner blog. Anahid is based in London and has flown all the way to me to join me on All About Sport tonight. So you are very welcome to the show, Anahid.
Great crowd,
I hope you're wearing your high heels, Anahid. I wore mine
heels.
Especially for tonight. I'm just going to let the camera see them.
Absolutely.
Anahid, you've been on the show before, but give us a little update about your blog, High Heel Runner, and about your latest post. It's a brilliant blog. I absolutely love reading it every week.
Oh, good. I'm glad to read it every week. Yeah, it's gone from strength to strength. What started off as a hobby turned into a little bit more. So I've got people asking me for reviews, or review products, and write about different things. So what's really kind of inspired me is the readership has really grown. And it's not just women, it's men. So it kind of started off as being more about women and writing about what they wanted to know about. But people, asked me to write about different things, not just about sport, but kind of well-being and how people get on with things. So one of the latest posts is about 7 reasons why people are not losing weight, because people sometimes don't understand. So I've gone through a couple of different things. One thing being, people think, it's okay, I'm exercising loads and, I'm doing really, really well, but they're not looking at what they're eating. So, you can run a marathon as much as you want, but if you're going to eat as much cheesecake as there is in the land, nothing's really going to happen there.
We're all guilty of that. You've got a huge following on Twitter in particular.
Yeah, it's really good. Twitter's really grown as well. I have a couple of thousand followers on there. And again, just write about a mix of different things that's happening. So not just fitness and sport, but fashion and what is happening in London and where I'm going and what I'm eating and high heels, obviously.
We're not actually running in high heels.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
On the dance floor. You're obviously really love doing marathons. And tell us a bit more about that passion.
Yeah, so I'm hopefully going to get a place in London Marathon next year. It's obviously coming up in London at the end of this month. I didn't get one this year, so...
Why is that? It's obviously, it's not just... Not everybody can get a place,
Not everybody,
obviously.
yeah. So what happens is you can enter a ballot where you can try and go into a raffle, if you like, for a place where you then don't have to raise as much money for charity. I didn't get it, so I had applied to run for Macmillan Cancer Support.
Excellent.
And they were just inundated with people who wanted to run with them, so I didn't get a place. So, but I'm still doing half marathons and still in training, so hopefully going to get to do one next year.
Oh wow, well, we'll be keeping an eye out for that, Anahid.
Yeah.
Recently you did an interview with America Blog Talk Radio. That's like, what an achievement.
Yeah, it was really
Tell
good.
us about that.
So they contacted me through my blog and website and said, would you come on to our show? I wasn't sure what it was. So it's all about called America Meditating. So it was a meditation show, and I thought, I'm a bit highly strung for that, not sure it's for me. But they had really good guests, so they've had like Alanis Morissette and Run DMC and Russell Simmons and loads of people. So I thought, can't say no. So went on, and it's on my blog actually, so people can listen to it there. But it's talking about life, and people are running through the rat race, and on social media, and there's loads going on, and how can people just kind of take a step back and relax a little bit more. So we talked all about that.
Wow, well this follows on from, you made an appearance on Times Square.
Yeah.
You appeared on the NASDAQ building.
Yes.
That's incredible. How did that happen?
It was great. It was really, really good. So, I was on the NASDAQ tower in Times Square. Wasn't quite thinking I was going to be on there, so it was as much a shock to me as anybody else. But I was on Twitter talking to a couple of different people, and they said you should send in your ambition for what you want to do for 2015 to the NASDAQ people. So I did, and thought nothing of it. And a tweet is obviously really short. There's only so many things you can say in a tweet. And next thing you know, my phone was buzzing, and there was a picture of me on the tower that lit up the Times Square building for a day.
So anyone who's familiar with pictures from Times Square, anyone who's been to New York, it's such a famous street in New York.
Yeah,
it's iconic.
Pretty huge.
Yeah.
What I liked the best was there was a picture of Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett here and me up here. So that was really exciting.
It was brilliant. We were really excited to see that.
Yeah.
Your new blog post that you're in the process of writing at the minute about social media and how people can compare themselves. That's a huge...
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue.
That
obviously the blog focuses on fitness, but an equal amount of fitness is people compare themselves all the time on Instagram and on social media and Pinterest, and just compare their lives and people's situations. And it's kind of a dangerous obsession that people find themselves in, it's really easy to get depressed by it all. So the blog post is looking at that. It is a phenomenon, and so many people are getting therapy around it and seeing psychologists because they feel that they compare themselves to their friends or family, and it's not really that healthy. So it's looking at that and try and give people tips on how to get out more, essentially, so you're not obsessed with social so much.
Brilliant. For all our viewers watching, have you any tips for them, Anahid? How to get off the couch and get out running and get, I suppose, fit and get exercise?
Yeah, well, I have to say, Cavan is my favourite place to run. I was out running this morning and I love running at home, and I don't think that people fully appreciate what we have here. You know, in London it's smoggy, it's congested, there's lots happening and stop-start with traffic and things like that. But here it's so easy, it's so clear, and, you know, recession, you know, is pretty much over, you know, and even if it wasn't, look, you know, you can go out and walk. There's no reason, it doesn't cost anything or anything like that you couldn't be doing it. So I would say to people, just take it in small steps. You're not going to be doing a half marathon by next week, but you could be walking a couple of miles within a few weeks. And it's just about, you know, looking at well-being and trying doing stuff in the morning. I always find if you get it out done in the morning, it's done, it's dusted, and you're not having to come home from work or school or college or anything going, oh, I can't be bothered, you know. So, but set yourself a couple of goals as well, because normally when you have a goal and if you think, right, I want to be able to increase my fitness by, you know, X amount in a couple of weeks, then it gives you something to work towards. So I always find a new outfit or a pair of jeans or something like that is always a good target too. So yeah, recommend
And
that.
I know a lot of our viewers are watching probably thinking, oh, you know, she's just, it's easy for her, she's fit and she's an amazing figure. But it wasn't always like that for you.
I hated sport in school. I never wanted to do PE, I didn't want to do anything. And it was really just a vanity thing, really, why I got into it. I wanted to just stay in shape and lose weight and, you know, not have anybody tell me, oh, you need to eat this or try this. I just wanted to eat whatever I wanted to eat. And fitness, just for me as well, with work, it's quite stressful at times, and it's a really good way for me to just kind of declutter my mind and just be happy with what's happening. So I try lots of different things, and that's what I would say to your viewers as well, is not stick to the same thing. If you go walking a couple of times a week, then the next week go and try some boxing or try some Gaelic football or hurley or something, you know, and team sports are really good as well, you know. It's especially as you get older, it's a good social thing to do.
It sure is. Starting blogs, I mean, the internet is flooded with blogs. Everybody seems to be writing blogs, but obviously to separate the cream from the crop, and you're an amazing writer. You write for the Women's Sports Journal as well. Tell us a bit more insight to that journal.
Yeah, so the Women's Sports Journal is a website that's dedicated to women in Ireland, and it's all about sport. So I think they should have Louise O'Reilly, Cavan TV on there too. It would
Ready
be
and waiting.
fantastic. No, it's a really good website, and they look at, you know, obviously Katie Taylor and the success of, you know, the women's rugby and everything like that. So I write about similar stuff that I write on my blog, but I write for them. And I think for anybody starting a blog, just write about what you're passionate about, but look and see what else is in the market and what makes yours a little bit different. So that's what will keep the interest going, and listen to your readers. No use you just writing about all the stuff that you want to write about if nobody wants to read about it. So put up a couple of polls, they're always free. WordPress is a really good free site for you to set up. Start from there, and yeah, just try and keep the momentum going. Mix up some videos, some pictures, top tips. Everybody always loves to tell me 7 things, 10 things I can do to do whatever, and that always works really well.
Oh, sounds great. I suppose you're living in London and you are mixing and rubbing shoulders with many celebs over there, Anahid.
Yeah.
You work in marketing. Tell us about one of the events you're going to next Thursday, because I'm really excited about this event. So if she gets any spare tickets, I know I'm on that list.
Yeah.
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
Just giving away my guilty TV secrets, but anyway.
No, it's really exciting. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I get to go to lots of different events, and one coming up next week is all about stepping up to cancer, and it's a charity event, but a celebrity charity event. So we'll be rubbing shoulders with all the cast from The Only Way is Essex and Made in Chelsea, and a couple of 90s celebs, you know, and a mix in between. So yeah, that should be fun next week. So I doubt I'll be getting packed too much, to be honest, but it's always nice to be mixing in and seeing what's what.
Oh, that sounds excellent. I suppose, Annie, on a final note, what's happening next for you going forward? What can we expect to hear about Anahid Bazmjan?
Yeah, I think next thing is people ask me a lot about personal branding as well. So I work with a lot of CEOs and heads of businesses who were trying to kind of carve out a niche and reputation for themselves. And I worked in a big kind of organisation. We were launching a big campaign, and it kind of set off one of the authors on a really big stream of publicity. So I'll be looking at that and giving my readers some tips to build their own brand and their own websites, and be known for certain things. So that'll be the next diversification for me.
That is brilliant. Well, Anahid Bazmijan, I don't think this is the last we're going to hear about you, but thank you very much for joining me on All About Sport. Thank you very much to my wonderful guest, Anahid Bazmijan, and you can check out her blog, The High Heel Runner.